Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of CampusCare EdTalks. EdTalks is a platform where educators and leaders come on board and express their viewpoints related to education and society. I, Mehek Dhiman, your host for the show, would like to welcome you all. And our topic for the day is how can schools help teachers to avoid burnout and to express her viewpoints on the same. We have with us Miss Meera Srivastav, ma'am, Principal of Takshila Public School, Shadara, New Delhi. A very warm welcome, ma'am.
Thank you, Mehak.
How are you doing, ma'am? It's so good to have you here.
Yeah, very well. Enjoying the moment now with you and all.
Thank you so much, ma'am. So let's start off with the session, ma'am, shall we?
Yeah, please.
So, ma'am, what is burnout? I mean, how do we, how do you explain burnout and what exactly, is the reason behind it? What causes it?
Yeah, I would like to thank you, Mahek, and the whole Intap team. Good afternoon, everyone here. And for this opportunity, the burnout, the topic that is very important, in particular in post-pandemic era and during pandemic,
Yeah.
everyone suffered through this burnout. And burnout is not a thing that is just after post pandemic period or during pandemic period. It existed pre pandemic time also.
Yeah.
So first I would like to define what is burnout. Due to workload, persistent stress, and the stress that never subsides, what happens? The person feels low energy, low strength, and ultimately surrenders that now I am no more able to work.
Yeah.
This is what burnout. The person is not able to perform anymore due to work pressure. And long stress has affected its thought process. And that's why the person suffers and shows that the person is not capable to work anymore. This burnout term was coined by an American psychologist. Uh, his name is Herbert Freudenberger in 1970s. He coined the term burnout, and in particular, the occupational burnout due to long hour of work and uh, you can say workload,
Yeah.
persistent workload. The person is not able to carry work any further due to loss of enthusiasm and low energy. Unpredictable hour add this symptom a lot. Due to this, what happens? The person able to perform because due to its deep involvement in accomplishing the task, a strong sense of morality that was having earlier in him and his far above goals than average people put him in a trouble. And what happens? A very strong sense of commitment to work earlier that was shown by his achievement. The person is not able to show that, and ultimately, what happens? The person surrenders that I am not able to perform at all, and his or she is not able to show the result, the outcome. That is the problem. So, sense of morality and commitment, accountability pressure, prolonged or unpredictable work hour, and workload for teaching profession. Uh, One added reason is lesser compensation. Most of the time, in comparison to other professions, what happens in teaching professions, particular school teachers are getting less compensation. That also adds to the symptoms of burnout, and that shatters their whole goal. During pandemic time, approx 84% teachers were stressed due to this work pressure and showed the symptom of burnout. Out of these, 51% left the job due to persistent stress as they were not able to perform. And next slide. 68% of them accepted the sole reason of this burnout was workload. So, regarding school teachers, their work is directly related with students. If students are not performing, the workload of teacher increases, and that creates a vicious circle where the teacher himself get trapped. So this is all about burnout.
Absolutely, ma'am. I think that was very beautifully explained by you. Thank you so much. So moving forward, you just mentioned that the everything, how much percent of the teachers and the educators left their job during the pandemic. So how can, as a school, we can help those teachers to avoid the burnout?
To help out teachers, we actually follow many solutions,
Yeah.
and the first and foremost is listening to them. Due to workload, they are facing lot of problems and they are not able to share those problems. So first we should provide them opportunity to listen to them because they are exhausted. The first symptom of teachers in schools are their exhaustion. That exhaustion can be physical exhaustion or can be emotional exhaustion. Physical exhaustion is represented by dizziness, headache, increased illness, palpitation, etc. And emotional is truly badly affecting their work. This is frustration, irritability, mood swings, impaired concentration, and chronic failure, including insomnia also. And their next day, their all the target get shattered due to such exhaustion. Next slide. They feel that they are detached from their work. They become pessimist. They feel cynicism, and they towards teaching profession, the their interest decline, their interest in student, their interest in colleagues, their interest in school and any work related with school activity declines. This lead to avoiding them interaction with student and the colleagues too. Ultimately, they show the symptom of non-enjoyment, and uh, better I can use the term in spite of enjoying, they feel as if they are trapped in a situation where they are neither able to accept it nor able to reject. They are in a state of confusion. This ultimately leads to their reduced and bad performance, and that again adds to their negative feeling towards work and leading to lack of productivity, feeling of hopelessness, ultimately showing apathy, and they are not interested at all for the work they are assigned, and they were dedicating hours and they were enjoying the work doing very happily. So they take now increased time in completing the assigned work, feel low self-esteem, and show lot of irritability with self and with others also. That triggers a situation where with the problem of one person, other person also get affected, and it can spread and it can affect the whole group of teachers. Because if one person is feeling is feeling burnout symptoms, is showing burnout symptoms due to his behavior with others, the whole team is affected, and
Yeah.
ultimately the person becomes impatient, and after a long uh, period of patience, the frustration outbursts, and it can be self-damaging and it can damage to others also.
Absolutely, ma'am. I think when any of these things happen with a educator, it also affects the way of learning. It also affects the students and everything. So we should be more careful with these things. Moving forward,
Yeah,
ma'am. Yeah, moving forward, ma'am. Should that was all these things that you mentioned on a school level. That a school can help. How can they help? So, do you think there should be any counseling or support group for teachers in the campus also?
yeah, we should keep in mind that burnout is due to the burden they are carrying every moment in their mind.
Yes.
And the moment we will take out the burden, they will be relaxed and they will be capable to do the work again. So, for that, first and foremost thing is to listen to them. At times, what people assume the situation is totally different.
Yes.
And once they are able to convey the hidden fact, accepting those hidden fact by any person is quite healing for them. So their point of view for any matter, if it is shared with any senior, any counselor, they feel quite relaxed. That lowers their stress, and ultimately, if the stress is lowered, their performance will be boosted, and they will perform up to the level. So, listening to them, finding their problems, working on their problem, and giving the solution. This is the most important work to address for all schools, to make teacher at a point where they feel very convenient and they are able to perform. Next is we must provide time so that teacher can check in with self. They can identify themselves. They are so busy with workload that they are not able to accept that they also are human being. They are treating everyone as a human being, and being human, our capacities are limited. So they will have to accept that this is same way applicable to them also. They also will have to deal with them that I am also a human being and I have to address myself, I have to handle myself as a human being. We can't be superhuman, and in that way, they will re identify themselves. They will get the potentials they are having, and they will again do or accept the work they were doing easily. So, schools must provide a break hour, just like recess, just like morning assembly, or just like uh, any other session on daily basis. If we are providing 10 minutes free hour for teachers to relax, I think burnout situation will never come. Next slide. They must remind themselves that their emotional well-being is very important. If emotionally they are happy, then only that happiness will be reflected in their work. So their suggestions, if possible, we should try to implement, and we should work in consent with the opinion of teachers, with the all the related staff, teaching, non-teaching even. So we should respect the suggestions given by them, because what problem they are facing, based upon that they are giving the suggestions. And most of the time uh, they are able to give the underlying truth related with any situation they are facing. So in that way, they are better conveying that situation and respecting their opinion. we can reduce their stress and help them out to perform better. Next is prioritizing. Most of the schools have given a lot of work burden to teachers, starting from entering the school gate till they come out. They are every moment busy with some work assigned, even not entering the gate. Most of the teachers are getting bus duties, the bus facility they are availing. The moment they board the bus, from there their duty starts until they unboard, they are performing duties. So they are overloaded with work. And in such situation, to prioritize the work is very important. So they must learn what to ignore and what to carry. If they are knowing that they can ignore at this moment of time one work and give priority to the work that is most important, they will be able to sort out what is right to do at this moment and what they can make pending for next moment. In that way, to an extent, their work burden can be reduced and they can reach the deadlines also. Because for any work, they have to complete the work with the deadline given. And simultaneously, if many work is assigned, this is our duty to help them out to prioritize the sequence in which they need to conclude the work. So this is the main problem teachers are facing, because from the day session begins,
Yeah.
many work is assigned to them, but not all the work is going to be completed at the same time. So depending upon the concluding date, the deadline of the work, they need to follow the sequence of work, and in that way they are prioritizing, they are making few work pending, and they are completing the work, and in that way they are completing the targets also. At times they should be allowed to say no also if the list of work to do is very long and lengthy. In such situation, if they are clearly saying no, we can appoint another person for that work. So this liberty is not given by most of the organization, not only schools in general. If we talk about this, to say no is just against the whole candidature of the employee. So we must provide this. This is very relaxing if the person is overburdened with work. Next. Now, to recoup is very important point, and due to monotony, due to everyday hard work, due to overburden, they are not able to address themselves. Day by day, they are neglecting their individual needs. Their individual emotions are ignored, and this is piling up and ultimately affecting their physical well-being that can't be afforded at all. So for this, they need to pause. Pausing is very important. During the phase of pause, we need to find whether we have missed any step or we have done any wrong step. If some wrong step has been taken, we can step back to. Although to step back is taken as a very negative action, but we must accept that if step back is ultimately yielding something, is healing, then it should be accepted. So pausing is very important. Pausing will help them to relax, they will recover, they will rejuvenate, and then they will restart the work in the way expected by all organizations.
Absolutely, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am. It was a very wonderful presentation by you. I think, yes, I think, all the points you mentioned there, and we have a, very rare conditions that that you can say no in an organization to a work. So that liberty should be given to, especially to teachers, that they have a lot of work for the session and examinations, everything.
I would like to add few more points.
Sure, ma'am, you can add.
Yeah, open the slide, please. We should provide them a drop box, and there they can give their suggestions. They can hide their names, because once the name is highlighted, uh, they are being targeted. That is extra burden they are carrying at times. So we should provide a drop box or complaint box where they can hiding their names. They can forward what problem they are facing. If face to face forwarding problem can be uh, can create a situation in future that can affect their candidature in future. So to avoid that situation, this should be followed. We should organize counseling sessions. It can be weekly, monthly, or fortnightly, based upon the need, where we can discuss the problem without mentioning the name of the individual, which individual is facing which problem. We will not mention. There, we will get a platform to discuss all the problems, so that those who are at the verge of facing those problems, they also can get the solution. And after discussing, we can plan one-to-one interaction, in particular appointing those people who are liked by them. In school organization, uh, there is maintaining decorum is very important, and due to that, they are not able to speak clearly to everyone. So the person, they are free to talk. They can share honestly what their problem is, assigning that person for one-to-one interaction as a resource person for them. We can provide a big support to teachers. At times, teachers are having some fake assumptions in sort of disciplinary action. As you right now said, to say no is a very big issue.
Yeah.
And in that way, they have many fake assumptions that if I am not going to do this, I'll be getting punishment in this or that type. So, removing such fake assumptions and supporting them that I'm with you in your tough situation. I'm there to support you for your tough situation, can help them a lot. We must accept, we must remind them that at times mistake done by us makes more stronger. Once we do mistake, we never do that again. So mistake is not making them zero. Mistake finding in oneself is actually a step towards correcting. So mistake is not making any person zero. This is a point they must keep in mind, and in that way they will be allowed to forward their mistake on their own, because it becomes more problematic when some other person find their mistake and they are being targeted. So that situation will not be there. So the assumption regarding mistake, not only to school teachers, to school student also, that if I have done some mistake, I will be trapped, I will be punished. That develops a tendency to hide the mistake. So that must not happen. And in that way, mistake also is a positive thing. We will have to make them accept in that way. Okay? Because every time we are compatible to correct our mistake on our own. just at that moment we don't identify that this is my mistake, that's why it persists. So for perfection it is very important. It uh, it is a part of experiential learning also, and at that point only, to take a step back immediately after pointing mistake will be very easy for them, because this is the time of multitasking, and at times this happens. So if they are not able to do their work on their own, if they are doing mistakes persistently, then they can be provided with a resource person who will help them out. And if they are not the team leaders, they can be the followers. If they are keeping this in mind, they will be without stress, and their work will be performed at a better level. Next question. Few things related with mental health, that is directly related with hormonal changes also. I would like to discuss. Stress hormones are actually badly affecting our body. During stress period, two hormones, adrenaline. कोई बात नहीं. I was talking about two hormones, which are stress hormone. They badly affect every organ. That's why the person is not able to perform. So removing stress is most important thing whenever we talk about burnout, because it starts just as a dot and it magnifies as a sphere. So avoid that sphere, we will have to avoid that dot in very initial stage. Uh, Helping them for yoga, meditation, such thing are he- giving healing effect, and in routine we must suggest to follow them. Next. Karan. Lastly, I would like to conclude that teachers must identify who they are, how responsible they are, and how sacred their profession is, where they build the life of others, sacrificing their life. So they are not losers, they are gaining something. Making lives of others is not a simple thing. So sacrificing their lives and making many lives is such a past thing that can't be explained in words. For a school teacher, after their school teaching life has completed, still they are being rewarded by the achievement of their student. This is an endless process. So that's why this profession is above all profession. And for teachers, whatever is needed, we must do. Now, I would like to show one graph. What do you call it? Yeah, this is a graph which is showing a negative correlation between training support and burnout symptom. Burnout symptoms are low and very diminishing if support to teaching staff, teachers are locked, and the counseling, training sessions, etc., are done more. So recreational activity for reducing burnout symptom should be planned by every school, and uh, carrying them to movies, picnics, even during holidays. Uh, we must see, because it can be fatal. In worst situation, it can be fatal, and the person is losing confidence in himself and ultimately surrendering to do anything. Yes, Mehak.
Uh, Thank you so much, ma'am. I think you've added one more point, that how can teachers help out each other in this, uh, to
Yeah,
avoid the
that that
burnout.
that one point is also here.
Thank you
So,
so much, ma'am, for being here today. I hope you enjoyed it, and that was a very beautiful presentation by you. That is one of the rarest cases, when educators do that much of, hard work for the webinar.
thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. And for all the viewers watching us out, please don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more stuff like this. Thank you, ma'am. Have a great day.
Thank you.